Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Happy Saturday and hope all of you having a great day so far. Here's a daily news report and fourth stimulus check update. Now President Joe Biden's new infrastructure plan is going to provide so many of you guys with much financial relief. There are multiple stimulus payments that will be arriving very soon and a large amount for many of you guys. I also want everyone to know that if you received unemployment benefits in 2020, up to $10,200 of that is now tax-free. However, if you filed your tax return before the relief provision was passed, the IRS said you don't have to amend your tax return, but instead the agency will automatically refund the money. The IRS has announced that the payment should arrive sometime in May. But first of all, everybody, do you believe that a fourth stimulus check and a $200 increase in Social Security benefits must be passed? Let me know in the comments. I personally believe that our politicians in Congress have let down our seniors and have let down millions of Americans across the country. People are in desperate need of help. More work must be done, everybody. Our politicians have got to help out the American people. And if you agree with me, then leave a comment down below saying I agree. So yeah, everybody, President Joe Biden is definitely focused on his Build Back Better plan, which aims to invest in the nation's energy grid, transportation, and water systems. Many lawmakers, including Speaker Nancy Pelosi, are expecting that infrastructure package is going to be passed via the budget reconciliation process, just like the American Rescue Plan. And it's possible that the Biden administration is going to add another round of stimulus payments into the plan, then pass it through Congress with budget reconciliation. If Congress was to approve a new stimulus payment, everybody, they would likely be recurring payments. Pramila Jayapal and Rashida Tlaib have already come together to create the Automatic Boost to Communities Act, and this bill would immediately provide a $2,000 payment to every person in America as critical relief during the crisis, followed by $1,000 recurring monthly payments throughout the ongoing crisis. According to Jayapal, there is strong bipartisan support among people in the country for payments on a recurring basis, with 66% of the public preferring recurring payments of $2,000 until a year after the president declares an end to the federal state of emergency. A recent poll also revealed that a majority of voters, including a majority of both Republicans and Democrats, support financing recurring payments by instructing the U.S. Treasury to issue $2 trillion of new currency. Lawmakers have also proposed a new minimum wage, renewing federal tax on employment, and making a child tax credit raise permanent. The current minimum wage stands at $7.25 an hour, and some senators are looking to set the bar at a $15 hourly wage, while others propose an $11 minimum wage. And I also want to know your thoughts on President Joe Biden in the comments below. Do you believe that he will pass a fourth stimulus bill? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no. Now folks, like I said, Joe Biden announced his $2 trillion infrastructure and jobs package. And so the American Families Plan is the second phase of Biden's two-part push to boost the economy. According to multiple sources, President Biden will speak directly to Americans who feel left behind and forgotten in an economy that's rapidly changing. Joe Biden will argue that his economic proposals will create millions of jobs. Now folks, Biden has faced opposition from Republican lawmakers and some moderate Democrats over his proposal to raise taxes on the wealthiest Americans to fund his programs. With an evenly divided Senate and a slim majority in the House, President Biden faces an uphill battle in Congress. But Joe Biden's American Families Plan would definitely provide many of you with more stimulus money. Reportedly, Biden's proposal calls for having low and middle income families pay no more than 7% of their income on child care. Thank you for watching, folks, and until next time, have a great day and stay safe.
I've come to see that Amtrak doesn't just carry us from one place to another. It opens up enormous possibilities. And especially now, it makes it possible to build an economy of the future and one that we need. Last week, I announced a target of cutting greenhouse gases and gas emissions in half by 2030. And most of those emissions in this country come from transportation. But if just 10% of the freight ship and the largest trucks went by rail instead, we'd be removing 3,300,000 cars from the road, and we've been planting, is the same as doing that, or planting 260 million trees in America. And as I've said from the beginning, when I think about fighting climate change, I think about jobs. And rail, and hopefully the expansion of rail, provides good union jobs, good paying jobs. It also connects people to jobs and economic opportunities that can be reached from wherever you live. Let's put this in perspective. For years, I fought efforts to cut funding for Amtrak because cutting funding for Amtrak would be a disaster for our environment and our economy. Amtrak carries 4 times as many riders between Washington and New York City as every single airline does within 50 miles of the shore from Florida all the way up the coast. Imagine what we'd have to do. A single day without the Northeast Corridor, for example, with Amtrak and the Northeast Corridor would cost the economy $100 million. If you shut down all passenger service on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor, the projects that compensate for the loss, you'd have to add 7 new lanes of highway on I-95. And consider that cost, average of $30 million for a linear mile on I-95. This is the bargain of bargains of bargains. It's economical and it's environmentally a lifesaver. That's why in my rescue plan, American Rescue Plan, we worked hard to keep Amtrak running. At the height of the pandemic, because we weren't traveling Amtrak, furloughed 1,200 employees. And we were able to provide emergency relief to keep rail service running, and we've now brought back 1,200 union workers who had been furloughed. And by the way, you get a union wage, not 15 bucks an hour, a prevailing wage. But we have to do more than just build back. We have to build back better. And today we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to position Amtrak and rail, and intercity rail as well, in general, to play a central role in our transformation and transportation economic future. To make investments that can help America get back on track, no pun intended. Before the pandemic hit, Amtrak's ridership and revenues were on the upswing. The Northeast Corridor has been making money for a long while now, but last year, the whole of Amtrak's system was projected to break even for the first time in history, but then we had the pandemic. But there is still a huge backlog in deferred maintenance, huge need to modernize our trains, our stations, our bridges, our tunnels. But we're talking about critical jobs like the Hudson River Tunnel, the Baltimore Potomac tunnels, and the Susquehanna River Bridge. In my American Jobs Plan, I propose spending $10 billion a year on passenger rail and freight rail. Of this, 2/3 would support existing Amtrak routes, including the Northeast Corridor, but nationwide. And we're talking about union jobs, as I said. And we're taking care of the riders, laying track, wiring switches, fixing bridges, tunnels, modernizing stations, and repairing and rebuilding this vital infrastructure. This would allow for the potential to expand passenger rail service. Imagine a 2-hour train ride between Atlanta and Charlotte, going at speeds of 220 miles an hour, and 2.5 hours.